Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today we are starting off the Opus 17 Card of the Week series again, Rebellion's Call. And Noel, some of you like to call him, is quite an interesting card. We've already I've kind of already read a little bit about this. This is still like, I wanted to share all the thoughts that came to mind right as soon as this thing popped out. We actually got this leaked like a day or two ago, and so the translation actually didn't work the same as it read a little differently, like it was out of order or whatever. But yeah, so Kageyama's here with this one. This is the first time we see Noel in Wind. He is the box topper, so you get one of these. Rebellion's Call should be very interesting. I wasn't expecting to start off with a 13 card, but it is what it is. I'm really excited to see what that Minwoo's going to do. But yeah, we're going to talk about this card. I got some ideas with it. I'm going to give you my pros and cons, and then we're going to look at what else his Rebellion's Call is coming up with in a sec. So let's get into the card. When Noel attacks, you may remove Noel from the game. If you do so at the beginning of your next main phase, play main phase 1, play Noel onto the field. When Noel enters the field due to an ability of card named Noel, select one of the three following actions. Choose a character of cost 4 or more, break it. Noel deals your opponent 1 point of damage, and search for a forward and add it to your hand. And at damage 3, he gains haste. Alright, so a couple of interesting things. Kageyama goes on to talk about how it's 2 separate autos when he leaves, when he comes in, and that when he comes, and it's not really dangerous until the 3 damage haste, because when he comes in he can't attack because they need to be out on the field from the start of your activation phase to attack this turn, right? So if you're before damage 3, you play him, he cannot attack. Next turn you attack, he'll come back the following turn, do the effect, and then have to wait another turn to attack, right? So it's every other turn. He also talks about when you receive damage without haste ability, you can attack. It will be attack every turn. That's right, as if you gas mat, right? Like you'll be chosen most effective. He has 3 effects, right? So you can choose the most optimal, right, to kind of get you in there. They didn't really talk about, he didn't really talk about like some of the combo cards that I thought, like, you know, other than the snow, which is like, sure, I guess. But nah, I like the card as a whole, right? Is it super threatening? Yes, it can be. It can definitely get out of control with it being able to blink itself. We already know, if you haven't thought of it, but Cotw was the same way, right? But Cotw is a little better in that respect, because when he comes back in, he can attack again next turn. 2, obviously, glaringly obvious things is now he's another 2K with a 5K range. We aren't seeing a lot of Brynhilders right now, but the meta changes always, and so something like that can come back. Obviously the Amaterasu thing, but yeah, he's very threatening when he can come in and do one of these things, right? Like, if you're unable to remove him before he attacks, then he's gonna get I could mess up your back row, right? Like it's kind of as annoying as Wedge was, right? Or is it big? Yeah, no, it's Wedge. Breaks one of your 4-cost backups. That's, say goodbye to Amber, say goodbye to Tyro, say goodbye to, any of those, things of that nature. Your Zangin and stuff like that. Your Princess Sarah likes to search, or no, your Sarah that searches your Water Sarahs and stuff. So, yeah, it's that first effect is great, right? And then the other ones are just whatever, right? Like searching a forge, sure. When I first read it, I think like my mind made up a bunch of things, right? Like I thought it was whenever he came into the field from another ability that you would do one of these. So I went to a bunch of places in terms of combos, but that wasn't right. And then the search, I thought it was search any character, right? So you would search backups to kind of net you stuff, but that's not right. No. So the forward thing is okay. If you're able to do it once, in my opinion, I would search the edge or the Cecil and the edge to kind of like keep him protected and to continue to do it, but that's just for what it is, right? All in all, I think he's a pretty decent card. Here's some combos. The most I thought right away was he needs to get haste, right? Like if we can abuse him from turn 1, you'll get the most value, and then he'll become as problematic as Cotw. So obviously your Sid, your Rain, just put mid in here to bring in the Sid, whatever. You know, Belias turn 1, and kind of like he's that same legendary like Zidane was, right, at the time. When he comes in, lots of value. If you don't answer him, you know, you're in trouble. But we do have cards like this now, so that kind of go with it. It doesn't have to be turn 1, but it could. You don't have to wait till damage 3 either, right? He's got 2 searchers, which is cool. And then this is my favorite one so far. I was really surprised they didn't think of this, but when Reeve enters, choose a forward of cost 2 or less in your break zone. Play it onto the field. As long as this card is on the field, Reeve does not activate during this turn, right? But at damage 3, you can play Reeve, bring him back. He'll attack, blink himself. Next turn, Reeve activates because it's a different forward, right? In the instance that he removes himself, he's not the same forward that Reeve brought in, so you'll still have your backup. You'll still have your backup. You'll set your curve, and you'll be getting benefits from the Noel. So that's just one thing. But again, all of these other options are like good. I brought the Sarah in here because now he's another 13 character that's not ice, right? Because that's one of her things. And so maybe there's a few options where I see Noel going into, you know, your wind ice, your wind lightning, and your wind fire, right? Those are where he's living, in my opinion. Or then there's mono wind as well. I also think it's cool that wind gets another thing that has haste now. Being as I've been playing wind this set a lot, I find it very useful. But between him and the Zidane and all these cards, right, it's just weird what you end up doing. So I don't know. I think he's cool. I don't think he's gonna. I guess it's too early to tell, right? We haven't seen anything, but for right now, he's a good card. Let's leave it at that. I'm gonna go into the pros and cons here now. So some of the pros and cons for Noel, in my opinion, right? Like this is, take this with you know, at face value, right? This is, we saw this today. We kind of went over it and stuff. So pros, potential to snowball. Like I said, if you're able to get it off right away, it could definitely, you know, carry you way into the game. He has that ability, like all those other 2-drops, to do that, right? Like both Water Zidane, the new Wind Zidane, yeah, like Rydias and stuff like that, right? Low cost, right? So yeah, turn 1 plays Arduino, so he's not gonna break your hand trying to commit to these snowball things. Other pro is that he fixes himself at damage 3. He has an innate ability to make himself better and more useful, right? So he's searchable, has 2 searchers, and like technically, and 3 if you count the snow. No, the snow only brings in lightnings, I think. But so he's searchable with 2 searchers, which is rare, right? And he could go in a few color decks, like we mentioned. Cons, he's weak to fire cards. Anything fire. If you put him in front of fire, you will never get this effect. Their backups deal 5k, their summons deal 5k. They can negate your effect if you manage to get it off. So as long as fire exists in the meta, it's going to be harder. Really slow if haste isn't available. Like I said, you'll be getting this effect every other turn, assuming he survives. And then the tribe is lacking. The category 13 has never been in the limelight, in the spotlight, or whatever. And so it concerns me until it does, that this might not need it. Like the color is good, right? Like we could put that in the cons. We know wind is good right now, so I'll go ahead and add that to the to the list. But right now the tribe itself, right, like the 13 and the Noel Sarah thing is like lacking. So we'll see where else that goes. Lastly, while we're here, let's take a look at this. The new booster and starter sets, right? We already know, we'll talk about the Golbez and Cecil thing a little bit later, but I just want to highlight this, the Rebellions pack. So we know we're getting a Minwu. It's an original art Minwu. It might be the light or dark. Most likely light and stuff. But we have a few sample cards here, and I'll show you guys some cool stuff here in a sec. And then the legacies are going to be Furion, which I'm not sure needs to come back, but whatever. I guess it's an original art that didn't get full arted, I think, right? This was right before full arts came out. Dark Veritas, which is probably my favorite one of this set, and then it's totally. I've never actually played this card. I know it saw a little bit like uprise in soirees over the last month, right? But even at most, it's a 1 of or 2 of, right? Like, I don't know. Yeah, very interesting. So what we know about these cards, I'm gonna show you something cool. So this I learned this from some of our buddies in Spain, I think it was, across the pond, as some might say. This Sarah is going to be a legendary. This one, for the Visions, I can't remember her name right now. I might pause to look this up. Yeah, so this turns out is Glaciella. She's probably a legendary as well, and so is this X-Death, this new character one. I'm excited for the Crisis Core. Before Crisis Core, other Turks, but this is a rare, and I believe these are rares as well. Cool thing you can do is when you right-click on this picture, what is it? Open image, a new tab. When you go up here, over here, they'll have the ID number. So we have 17. Let's fix that here. 1758H. So this one, I don't know if it's another Pinello or something, is a hero. But going here, we're gonna look at Glaciella really quick. Open image, a new tab. And if you can see it here, I'm not even gonna open it right, but it says 17113L. And so you have that as well. So the X-Death will be the same thing. Open a new tab, and then you can kind of see it right here, 17091L. So we have Sarah. I don't know if we'll get these revealed in time, like, because I know they don't always show them. These are just samples. But so far, those are tracking to be the L's. And now we know 4 L's, technically. We don't know what they all do, but they're legendaries. And then we know that just a fresh reminder of what's going on with the legacy cards, the set. But yeah, that's going to do it, guys. Let me know what you guys think of Noel. I'm looking forward to actually Glaciella and this X-Death. So hopefully these are pretty busted. This full art is just gonna look amazing. I might want this one if he's playable too. So that'll do it for me. Let me know what you think. Leave your comments below and let's talk about it. Where are you guys putting Noel right now, currently, right? Without anything new to be revealed. And I'll see you next week on this one. So have a good one, guys. Bye.